Here we are, Eric Hudson, mate. One of my partners here, SwimStrong Dryland
Yes, sir.
owner and operator. How's it going, man?
It's going great, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm real good. So thanks for doing this. We've got some exciting stuff that we're working on together, and we want to announce. There's plenty of stuff you and I are working on together. And the thing that I love about you as a leader of SwimStrong Dryland is that you want to partner with people that have very similar enthusiasm and vision and goals to make swimming better, man. And you and I just clicked immediately on that point. And so if anyone knows me and the things that I've been putting out lately, it's very heavily influenced by you and your company as well. And I'm just a proud partner with you, mate. So I just wanted to kind of put that out publicly, you know?
Well, the feeling is mutual. We really appreciate you. You guys are the only company that we are partnered with. And I got the Sprint Revolution shirt in. Super excited
Nice.
about that.
Nice.
Super soft. If you don't have one, you should totally get one. I love it. But I love the stuff you're posting on social media, the things you're doing. You're traveling the world, running clinics, challenging, what's always been done, which I think is something that,
Mm.
we want to be doing too. I think if you say, hey, why do you do this? Oh, because I did this when I was younger, or I did this when I was swimming, or that's how it's always been done. I think that's when you get in a rut. And so that's something that's always excited me about what you're doing, because that's the mindset we want to have, always be progressing, always be learning, always be moving forward and challenging. Just baseline thinking that just stays stagnant. And so I love it, man. Keep pumping out what you're doing. And there's a reason why you guys are our exclusive partner, and why we
Yeah.
love being with you, because it inspires us to want to do more and grow and learn more, and hopefully inspire people around the swimming world. So we appreciate you a ton.
Yeah, I love it, man. And listen, just in terms of some of the things we have put out there recently, you and I have come together. I had a lot of people asking me, "Hey, Brett, you put out great swim programs, and I can come to you and I can learn from you on the swimming side. I don't know much about the dryland side. I don't know how that fits in." And so I came
Mm-hmm.
to you and said, "Hey, would you want to partner with me on kind of educating and providing opportunity for people to buy quality dryland programs?" And you and your team came up with kind of a 4-tier system where it's a level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1 is kind of beginner, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
an intermediate, more advanced, and then there's the elite, right, of
Mm-hmm.
programming. And we coupled it together where it's my 3-month swim program with your 3-month dryland program. I actually was talking to someone this morning about this and saying, hey, you get a little bit of a discount code when you come on and buy my swim program, but you've got to get this dryland program because it just goes hand in hand with it. So but firstly, on terms of that, coming on and doing this with us, and then just the whole background of the 3-month plan, just give us an overview of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the 4 different levels, I think the reason that we have 4 different levels is because masters, there's a wide spread of different abilities, experiences, skill levels. And so one thing I will say, kind of going back to kind of disrupting the norms or what's always been done, I think a lot of people, especially maybe people who are beyond that hyper competitive stage, and they're like, I just want to swim to stay in shape, right? And so swimming is one of the best things you can do, and it is
Mm.
fantastic. It's a lifelong sport that you can do. But I think one thing that adults really miss, especially older adults, is that you still need to develop strength and power. One of those are things that disappear the quickest. And so if you want to be avoiding injuries, if you want to be feeling good for the long term, if you want to just be able to stay active with your family for the long term, it's not just going to be swimming, because swimming is super repetitive. So you still have to protect your joints. You still have to move really well, and you need to be efficient in the water. And when you do a sport that's as repetitive as swimming, you need injury prevention, you need stability, you need mobility, you need core
Right.
strength, you need strong movement patterns. And I think
Mm-hmm.
there's this stereotype that master swimmers don't need dryland, and that couldn't be more wrong. Like,
Right.
and it used to be like that for youth, and I'm sure you remember, this, like, where dryland was more of just like a add on, like, oh, it's, if you do that, cool, but it's not really that important. What we do in the pool is like the only thing that matters. And while what's in the pool is the most important thing for swimmers, dryland is an essential supplement that's going to keep you healthy and amplify the results in the pool. That doesn't change when you get older. Actually, if anything, it becomes more important, because the body is going to break down quicker when you get older. And so instead of, let me just kind of do swimming to be the thing that keeps me strong and in shape, that's actually doesn't make as much sense as you think, because you're going to lead to more, it's going to lead to more injuries and things that will set you back if you're not doing dry land with that. So when you're
Right.
doing the swimming and the dry land together, it's a home run, whether you're 85, 90 years old or 30 years old or fresh out of college. So each of the dry land levels, though, level 1 is more for your beginner. So
Mhm.
someone who hasn't really done any strength training, it's brand new to them. You're looking to just have good mobility, stability, core strength. There's
Right.
a lot of injury prevention work in all of our programs, but this one specifically is building a foundation, right? So if you're 85, 90 years old or 60, 70 years old, or your 40s and 50s, and you're just feeling like I'm way out of shape, doing dry land sounds crazy to me. This is for you. This will be something beneficial, and you can take it step by step. And you'll have a resource, Coach Greg, who's got over 30 years of experience working with masters athletes, that you can ask questions, reach
Mhm.
out to us if you have anything, if you're not sure about something, if you need alternatives to an exercise. It's um, very tailored to the swim athlete, though, and helping you gain strength. So that's level 1, really your baseline. Level 2 is, hey, I have experience in strength training. I'm not in the best condition, but I have a little bit of experience. So, and that baseline built, and you're still going to see injury prevention, mobility, core strength, but you're going to see a little bit more resistance training. You might need a
Mm.
little bit more equipment, or challenge you at a little bit different level. Level 3 is for people who they've done strength training. They have a pretty good base already. They're in good shape, and they've been doing some sort of training outside the water for a while. That's a great fit for you. And you're going to
Yeah.
see more frequency. You're going to see more challenges in terms of resistance. We want you to use more things that might be in a gym.
And I
And
was going to pop in here and say
Go
this
ahead.
too is like, you know, oftentimes when we say the word masters, we do think of an older age group, right? But master swimming now encompasses, you know, people that are in their early 20s as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people that have just got out of college and want to continue swimming. So there are masters age groups for everybody, and there are college athletes that have just finished up their 4 years of college and maybe taken a year or two off, or maybe 3 or 4 years off, and said, well, you know, I want to stick with swimming,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been at it for a little bit. This is kind of that level you're talking about too, is like you might have a 26-year-old who's been out of college for 4 years, hasn't really done much, gone into the workforce and said, well, I want to come back, but
Yep.
I understand weight training. I get it, but I'm not elite just yet. And so that level 3, I think, is for someone like them as well, right?
Yep. Nope. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then when you get to that elite level, that's for someone who has been already training at a high level. They may be
Yeah.
fresh out of college, or 20s, 30s training at a high level. I had actually someone talk to me the other day who's trying to make the Olympics for Uruguay.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect for you,
Yeah.
because this is a high level similar to coming off of a collegiate experience.
Yeah.
This is that high level training that's going to be really intensive, but also smart for a swim athlete. And I think so. It doesn't matter whether you're someone who's still trying to make the Olympics, or you're someone who's, older and just trying to be strong and maintain some strength and power and be more efficient in the water. There are levels for everybody. And I think it's important to note that it's specific for a swim athlete too. So if you're like used to doing, let's say, like you come from a background of just doing high intensity interval training all the time, like a group fitness workout class where you're just sweating and there's no rest in it, that's not this. This is for a swim athlete, specific to the needs of a swim athlete, depending on which level you choose. But it is going to address the needs to help you stay healthy and to be more efficient, move better, more powerful in the water, off the blocks, off the walls, more efficient with your kicks, increase propulsion, different things like that. So this is going to help you as a swim athlete. There's a purpose, a rhyme, and a reason to all of it. Anyone can design a program that makes you sweat or makes you tired or makes you
Right.
sore. This is specifically designed with a swim athlete in mind, which I think is important to know.
Yeah. And look, the other thing too is that when I was coming up through the ranks of the high school age, right, 17, 18, towards the end of my high school, into my college, I wanted to get stronger at one point, and I went into a gym and I worked with a personal trainer who was more on the bodybuilding side. So like you
Mm-hmm.
can go in and you can learn about strength and you can get stronger, but it's not actually going to apply very well to the pool, and you'll probably again end up with injuries that you don't necessarily need in swimming, probably muscles that you don't necessarily use or need. And so, yes, you can go in and get off any program, and you can get stronger off anything. And often I find in America is a lot of dryland programs are written for other sports like football or baseball or whatever it is. You know, you've got these team sports, whereas the swimmer is very specific in what they're trying to build strength for and mobility and flexibility and connection and all that sort of stuff. So this is where your program just takes it to a completely different level.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on with that. And I think there is for sure a misconception about what it is to be strong in the sport of swimming. You have a lot of people who say, oh, I want to get big, or want to do XYZ. Everybody's body type is different. You getting strong in the water it looks different, physique wise for everybody. But the goal is, how can we get you from one end of the pool to the other as fast and efficiently as possible? So someone you've talked about on your podcast before, that I've had the privilege of working with since he was 12 years old, Kai Winkler, he is crazy strong, like crazy strong. And you look at him, he's slender, but like crazy strong, crazy efficient with his strokes. And so, but he's not a bodybuilder. It's not someone who's walking around like that. You're just like, oh, that guy's huge. Yeah. But the kid can outlift most people you would know. The kid's more powerful than you would know. He's more mobile. He's more efficient. And like, it's deceptive. Like, how you train a swim athlete is much different than how you train someone who's just looking to get strong. So of course we're trying to build strength, but it looks different for a swim athlete versus anybody else. Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing too is it's very affordable. I mean, it's a 3-month comprehensive program that is only $225, man. It's dirt cheap in terms of what it provides and what it can give. And the other thing that you do get with this too is not just a program. Talk me through the application itself. When they click on it and they order it and they get it, what are they actually getting? Yeah, when you order it, so it's really easy to follow. We made it so that anybody from any level, any background can follow this. So each level of the programming has specific links, hyperlinks to videos on our website, which will either be myself or Brian McPherson demonstrating how to do the exercises in details, what muscle groups we're supposed to be using, what things we want to avoid, common mistakes. We'll walk you through step by step through the process. And Brian, by the way, in terms of his background, we have an entire staff who puts their research time, energy, and effort into the programming. But Brian is our director of programming, development, and research. He got his master's in exercise physiology from Louisville University. He worked with their swim team with Jason Durking there, running the strength program. For 2 years, he worked at the University of Lindenwood, programming for their team for 2 years. And he works full-time with SwimStrong Dryland now for the last few years. The guy is an absolute guru, swimmer his whole life, absolutely loves the dry side of the sport, and a big time nerd. If you ever talk to him, you'll see that. Always thinking, always learning, always researching to figure out how do we give you guys the absolute best in terms of programming to make sure it's effective for a swim athlete, safe, and really just going to get you the results you're looking for. And so he's behind the scenes. We have a peak performance coordinator, Steve Marrero, who's been in fitness for over a decade. He helps us with our peak performance programming as you lead towards your championship meets. So for masters athletes who are competing pretty regularly throughout the season, we have different peak performance plans that we can help you access, help you know when to drop off of certain times in the programming. If you have a meet coming up, you can communicate with us and we'll let you know, hey, here's what you should do and adapt so you can be swimming at the highest level when it matters most for you. But in terms of like following the program itself, you just click on the links. We'll tell you exactly what the exercise is, how to do it, video demonstration of how to do it. And we'll have alternatives too. So we know not everybody, even in those level 1, 2, 3 and elite, everybody's not in the exact same spot based on what equipment you have access to or don't have access to. If everything you have is body weight, we have body weight alternatives for every exercise. So you don't even necessarily need a gym if you're looking to do this. You just need yourself in a little, 4x4 space. But we'll have options based on equipment. We'll have options based on skill level. You'll see exercises that are side by side next to each other that, hey, if you can't do the Bulgarian split squat, then you can do this static lunge, and just options side by side based off of skill levels within the different groups. And so it's very easy to follow. and a lot of great resources in terms of knowing how to execute it at a high level. And again, if there's ever any questions, Greg Timon, who is our director of the Masters programming and club team operations, and has been in the fitness industry for over 30 years, working with different swim athletes and Masters athletes. He will answer any and all of your questions to help you with anything that you're unsure about. So we want you to have support. We want you to not just be like, hey, I clicked and purchased this program, and yes, I have amazing videos to follow and this and that. But if you're not sure about something, ask us. That's what makes us unique for sure. We love what we do. We love interacting with people. So if you have any questions, you don't have to hesitate.
Yeah. And listen, I'm on the program and this is the result. So like if you want any of
Let's
this,
go.
get on it. No, listen, the other thing is too, man, you and I have just announced recently we're doing some extra work together next year. We're actually going to combine to be doing some clinics, offering some clinics.
Sir.
So talk to us about the ins and outs of what we've got going on there.
Oh man, I'm fired up about that. We have a lot of teams excited about these that have already booked theirs. We actually only have 2 clinics available left in 2025. So if you are interested in, we have one available in May, and we have one possibly, depending on your schedule, right before Worlds that we could squeeze in. But that's it. So they've been hot as far as people booking them because they know what you bring to the table. They know what we bring to the table. We've been doing clinics for a while, and you've been doing them all over the world. And those clinics are, I mean, we're looking to bring the craziest energy to your club for the weekend that we could possibly bring, but not just crazy energy and inspiration, but we want to bring education, right? Like Brett's going to rock it from the swimming side of things, giving you all kinds of detailed insight for your athletes in terms of technique and how to grow as a swim athlete, but also for your coaching staff. We want to educate the coaching staffs that we're with and the parents. So we want to include all of them because we believe there's a strong importance between athlete, coach, and parent all being a part of the process. If your athlete is going to be as successful as possible, you need all 3 legs of the stool working. If one of them's pulled out, then you're not going to be as successful as you could be. So we're going to be invested with the athletes. We're going to be invested with the coaches and with the parents. And so from the dryland side of things too, we'll be doing dryland education, dryland demos, dryland workouts. The kids will be tired, but have a lot of fun with it and learn a lot. And then we're going to have education as well. So we'll bring another SwimStrong staff member, whether it be our nutrition coach, Brittany Miller. She's coming to one out in Seattle with us here coming up in January. So she can educate athletes, coaches, and parents alike from a nutritional perspective. Well, I'll cover the dryland and you'll cover the swim, and we'll kind of come together and motivate them in a lot of different ways. But our mindset is we want to come to your club and make sure that that weekend has a lasting impact, right? Like we're not just looking to come as like some gimmick to like take pictures and have fun and we can do that, of course. But you know, it's very different maybe from people's perception of clinics with an Olympian or a dryland program. I'm not sure what the other ones look like out there, but we're coming to educate and we're coming to inspire and we're coming to make an impact that lasts beyond the weekend that will carry on for the rest of their swim careers, right? Like if we're coming there and we're not making an impact, we're not doing our job. And so we want to build personal relationships and leave you with real inspiration and educational content that will influence the rest of the season and beyond. And so we'll give the athletes, coaches, and parents tools that they can take beyond that. Because, you know, if we come there for a weekend and everybody gets hyped up and excited and motivated, that's awesome. But what does that do for anybody beyond those couple days, you know? So we want much more than that.
What I love about the programs that already said yes to this, we've already booked in a bunch of clubs and they're on the schedule for next year. We've made public a couple of those already, and we're going to make public a few more. But the thing that I love about these clubs in particular, they're being led by coaches who want to get better. They're being led by coaches who want their athletes to get better. They're saying to us, you guys have information and you guys can make an impact in a really positive way. Come into our club and give that to us. Help us with that. You got to take your hats off to those coaches, man. That takes foresight. That takes a lot of guts, you know, and we're not there to put down anything that they're doing. We're there to enhance it. We're there to try and make it better and add on to the things they're doing well already, right?
Yep. No, that's exactly right. And those are the coaches we love working with. The coaches who are like, look, I don't know it all, and I want there to be a village who comes in and helps our athletes and inspires our athletes and coaches and parents. And those are the most fun people to work with. It's the same reason why we're partnering with you. It's the same reason I have 8 different staff members who all have different specialties, because man, you can try and do everything on your own, but it's never going to be as great as if you have a team of people around you. And so, yeah, the coaches who are bringing us in, I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal coaches who just want the best for their kids. It's not about them. Anytime you can push ego aside in our business, the strength and conditioning world, the swim coaching world, you're going to end up having a really successful team. I think the people that struggle the most are the people who are kind of in their own way. Like, I got it figured out, don't need any help, don't want any outside perspective. And they try to do everything themselves. And yeah, it's just it's not about the kids anymore at that point. It's just insecurity on the coach's side a lot of times, when they don't want help from anybody.
Well, you look at you look at winning coaches, and all the best coaches that I know bring in people all the time, and people in America love college football. And I'm not supposed to put praise on this guy, but one of the guys that I truly admire is Nick Saban at Alabama, right? Like, he's a guy that's constantly bringing people in to make him better, make his football team better, have an influence on them. And it's not to say, Nick, you don't know what you're doing, or Nick, you don't your team hasn't got it together. It's like, no, make us better. And that's what I love about these programs. Again, I just want to reiterate that. So we're pumped up. We're fired up. We have made a couple of announcements. Are we allowed to say who they are?
Yeah, I think right now some of the ones on tap we have, well, you'll see. So we already posted about Gator Swim Club.
Right.
We're excited to come out to Gainesville. Coach John hired us to come out there. We're excited for that and see the Gator athletes. We're going to Wave Aquatics in Seattle. Coach Chad hired us to come out there, so we're fired up for that one.
Awesome.
We have another clinic coming up in El Paso with the Aquaposse Coach Todd. So that one will be a ton of fun. And then we have another one scheduled for Club North swim team, Coach Nate out in Kansas City, Missouri. A couple other pending dates right now that we're working with that we'll announce soon as well from some of the clubs. But yeah, I mean, just some really, really exciting opportunities that we can't wait to come out. And I think that's something unique too, is that we're coming to your team. We're not like, hey, just anybody in the area can come to this. Like, it's going to be specific to what you want as a coach. So we're meeting with these coaches, and they're saying, and this is kind of along the lines of what you were saying, we're not coming to tell them things that go against what you say as a coach or do anything like that. We're actually coming to reinforce a lot of the things that you want us to reinforce. We want to hear, hey, what are the needs of your team? Where do you feel like the athletes, parents, coaches need the most help, need the most education, need the most inspiration? And that's what we're going to go in on. And so it really is a partnership where we're coming to serve you. And when we're coming to your team, you get to tell us, like, look, this is what we're looking for. How can you help in this specific area? And then we'll maximize it and bring our own flavor to it. So, but yeah, those are some of the upcoming ones in the near future. You'll see some of those posted soon. And then you'll see some others after that as well. I won't spoil the other ones yet, just because some of the kids I don't think they all know yet.
No, listen, and I've been talking about Sprint Revolution. You got it printed on your shirt there,
Yes,
but this is kind of a revolution in swimming where no one's ever done it this way before, where you've combined holistically everything that we're trying to gain in swimming, from the swimming perspective to the dryland perspective, and combining those two things. And then you've got the nutrition side and everything that goes into performance. No one's ever really done a clinic like this before, right? Like, this is groundbreaking. So super cool, man. I'm pumped up about it. You're getting me fired up to be at my best to make sure that I can handle and hang with you guys, because I know you're going to bring the energy too. So
I know you will, cool. For sure. Yeah, it's exciting. And you're exactly right. Like, we want people, honestly, we want the teams and athletes and coaches we work with to feel like they have the support that a lot of other big money-making sports have, right? Like you talked about Saban and Alabama. Man, the resources that they have is out of this world. Why shouldn't club swim teams have the same resources? We're making it our aim to bring affordable resources to club teams in any city in the country, so that they can have access to this and be as great as they want to be. And I think that's something unique too, is just, you know, we do it because we love it, right? Like this didn't start because of a, oh, I have this great business idea of SwimStrong. I just made it up. Like you know,
Mm-hmm.
years ago, I was like, I love working with swim athletes. I love
Yep.
Dryland. I see this need. I want to
Yep.
help people. It's the most fulfilling career path I could possibly think of. How can I make this a job? How can I make this like where I give all my energy and attention to? And it's exactly what you're doing now, with BrettHawke.com and all of the different clinics you're running and all of the resources you're providing. And I saw the front end speed webinar that you did. Everybody should check that. Like all the things that you're doing is coming from a passion, coming from experience, coming from wanting to help people. And you know, it's more rare than it should be that people who are running businesses are doing it because, not because they want to run a business, but because they love what they do. And you know,
Yeah.
you can feel the difference. I mean, you can feel the difference between someone who actually genuinely cares and loves what they do versus like, oh, they're trying to check a box, they're trying to
Yeah.
just grow up. You know, it's a very different thing. And
Yeah. Well, listen, you and I think people will understand this about you and I. We can't put out what we put out without passion. You know, it's going to have passion involved. It's going to have care involved. I actually, you brought up that that stream I did the other day where people actually paid some money to come and watch me, and I spent an hour and a half with them, and I was so disappointed in kind of my performance on that hour and a half. I went and re-recorded it and I sent it to him. I sent it to him again because I said, you know what, I could have given more there. I could have been better. And so that's the way I'm always challenging myself, is like, if I don't give 100% the way I think it should be delivered, I'm gonna redo it, you know. And that's the way we look at our athletes too. Like, we hold our athletes to that standard. We say, nope, not good enough, do it again.
Yep.
Why shouldn't we hold ourselves to that standard? So I'm going to continue to do that. I know you are constantly doing that as well. So yeah, man, I think we align really well. I'm super pumped about the things we've already got going on, the things we've got going on next year together. Lots of places that people can get a hold of us in different areas. I got the Masters Dryland programs up there. We've got these clinics coming up. So bretthawke.com, hit that website, go to swimstrongdryland.com. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yep. And hit that. A lot of that stuff is going to be in the show notes as well. So, Eric, can't wait, mate. This has been awesome.
Yes,
Thanks for
sir.
everything you do.
Absolutely. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thanks for having me on here. And let's continue to change the swimming world, man. It's fun.
Let's go fast, man. Let's go fast. All right.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care, man.
See
Bye.
ya.